The Brooklyn Nets once seemed poised to reshape the balance of the NBA, boasting a roster that glittered with generational talent and star power. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, three elite scorers, each a multi-time All-Star, were the embodiment of a super team, conjuring visions of unstoppable offense and multiple championships. Yet despite countless headlines and bold predictions, the Nets' star-studded experiment never yielded the crowning success many anticipated. Their downfall, marked by playoff heartbreak and off-court turmoil, serves as a testament to the reality that raw ability alone does not guarantee a seamless run to a championship. To appreciate the magnitude of the Nets' ambition, one must travel back to 2019. That summer, Brooklyn, long overshadowed by the Knicks' dominance of New York headlines, pulled off a stunning coup, signing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in free agency. Durant, a two-time Finals MVP, was recovering from a ruptured Achilles but remained a transcendent forward capable of anchoring a title contender. Irving, a brilliant yet mercurial point guard fresh from a tumultuous stint in Boston, seemed eager for a fresh start. The duo immediately catapulted the Nets from perennial afterthought to Eastern Conference contender. Even with Durant sidelined the entire 2019 to 2020 season, Brooklyn's future gleamed. The sense of destiny sharpened in January 2021 when the Nets struck again, orchestrating a blockbuster deal for James Harden, a scoring virtuoso from the Houston Rockets. Few rosters in NBA history had assembled such prolific offensive talent. Durant, Irving, and Harden each had the ability to single-handedly dictate a game. Coupled with a supporting cast that included sharpshooter Joe Harris and defensive specialist Bruce Brown, the team looked unstoppable on paper. Opponents began hypothesizing that these Nets could surpass even the scoring exploits of the Golden State Warriors superteam that Durant had once starred on. Pundits gushed that no defense in the league would be capable of handling all three stars at once. Someone would always be open or in a mismatch. But from the outset, warning signs emerged around continuity and cohesion. Injuries flared, with Durant, Irving, and Harden rarely sharing the court together for long stretches. Irving's occasional absences, both for personal reasons and later over vaccination standpoints, stirred skepticism about whether the Nets could rely on their star point guard in moments of adversity. Harden, playing through nagging hamstring issues, sometimes appeared a shade less explosive than in his Houston prime. Meanwhile, Durant displayed brilliance whenever he played, but also missed chunks of the schedule due to lingering problems post-Achilles rehab. Instead of forming an indomitable trio night after night, the Nets often patched lineups around the few healthy superstars, hoping that once the playoffs arrived, talent would suffice. During the 2021 postseason, that plan nearly worked, if not for a few crucial moments. In the second round against the Milwaukee Bucks, injuries to Irving and Harden left Durant carrying a Herculean load. He delivered some of the most mesmerizing playoff performances in recent memory, nearly willing Brooklyn to victory. But in Game 7, his last-second turnaround jumper fell just inches short, toe grazing the three-point line for a tying basket rather than a series-winning three. The Nets bowed out in overtime, leaving fans wondering if a healthy Irving or Harden might have pushed them over the top. Yet the front office maintained confidence that 2022 would bring a complete run at full health. Instead, the following season brought more turmoil. Irving's refusal to comply with local vaccine mandates for part of the year limited his availability to road game. Harden, frustrated by the unpredictability, publicly signaled his dissatisfaction. In a stunning mid-season trade, the Nets flipped Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons, hoping to stabilize the locker room. Simmons, however, arrived struggling with back issues and confidence woes, failing to take the court for the rest of that campaign. The Nets, once favored to dominate the East, limped into the 2022 postseason as a lower seed. Pitted against the Boston Celtics, they were summarily swept, with Durant and Irving appearing worn down and overmatched by a cohesive Celtics defense. By this point, any illusions of an unbreakable super team had dissolved. The once frightening trifecta of Durant, Irving, and Harden was gone within a year of assembling. Off-court controversies further eroded team morale, as Irving's stance on various matters clashed with organizational goals, and criticisms of head coach Steve Nash's inexperience flared. The signings of veterans like Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge yielded only short spurts of effectiveness. By late 2022, frustration ran high. Durant requested a trade, though the team initially resisted. Tensions simmered until the 2023 deadline, when both Durant and Irving departed, ending the super team experiment conclusively. The final verdict on the super team Nets is that a roster brimming with Hall of Fame talent can still crumble under the combined weight of injuries, internal disagreements, and external challenges. Chemistry, mental fortitude, and good fortune count for just as much, if not more, than star wattage alone. While those fleeting moments of brilliance, like Durant's near heroics in 2021, captivated fans, they only magnified the heartbreak that followed. For a squad once proclaimed unstoppable, the story ended not with rings, but with regret and a sense of what might have been. Critics and historians will likely debate the why for years. Some blame a lack of leadership or rigid direction from the organization. Others assert that the personal priorities of Irving, Harden's impatience, and Durant's injuries created a perfect storm of incompatibility. There is also the argument that the modern NBA environment demands instant chemistry and resilience to media scrutiny, a pressure this particular group never managed to withstand. Regardless of the root cause, the Nets' grand experiment shows that super teams are never a guaranteed path to immortality. Even with unstoppable scorers on paper, success remains elusive if the collective fails to gel. From a broader perspective, the failure of the Brooklyn Nets underscores the balance that must exist between star power and synergy. Just as the Los Angeles Clippers' meltdown in 2020 taught us about the pitfalls of building an on-paper juggernaut without cohesive bonds, Brooklyn's narrative adds another cautionary chapter. Incredible talent can be undone by a handful of missteps, controversies, or injuries at the worst possible time. The NBA's glamour and hype can create massive expectation, but only consistent on-court performance and unity carry a team through the grueling playoffs to a championship. In the end, though, the hype around Durant, Irving, and Harden enthralled audiences for a brief but unforgettable window. They offered glimpses of unstoppable offense, with highlight reels that will remain mesmerizing in isolation. Yet their eventual undoing drives home the lesson that no superteam, no matter how loaded with stars, is immune to internal friction and the merciless reality of postseason matchup. The Brooklyn Nets had the makings of a dynasty on paper, but in practical terms, their short-lived union will be remembered as a spectacular miss, a reminder that sometimes success depends on more than just a collection of famous names and lofty expectations.